Welcome back, guys. I am excited. This is the AskDomThat. We're going to call it AskDomThat Podcast 2.0. This is our second season. Last season, I really tried to bring out some content for you guys, but it wasn't as consistent as I would like. So this time around, we got an amazing process, and we're going to be making sure to bring these episodes to you every week, rain or shine, or fog or whatever. And there are going to be some special guests on, and we're going to be giving updates on everything that I have going on, everything that I talk about on the other platforms. This is going to be the consolidated place to find all that information. So, that being said, I want to start off with specifically giving you some updates about the biggest project that I've undertaken, I think ever, which is the farm. And if you follow me on social medias, you know that I purchased a farm. It's been giving me my fair share of headaches already, but I haven't given you all the details. And I haven't even told you what the name of the farm is. I know we were looking for one, but we figured it out. We have come up with a name, and I will be sharing it with you. I won't even make you wait until the end of the episode to share it. I'm going to start off by telling you the name, and in case you got anything else to do with the rest of your day, you could at least leave out of here knowing the name of the farm. All right, so let's get started. Where are we at? All right, so last year, almost a year and a half from today, all right, probably closer to June, I decided I wanted to buy a farm. It's a family, dream of mine to have it's a dream of mine to have my entire family on a piece of property that we can call our own. And that's my immediate family, my extended family, my friend family. So I wanted something that we can control, we can decide what we do with it. And it's always been in the back of my head. I've wanted this for a very long time. And last year I was able to do it. I started off looking at 10 acres, then 25, and it snowballed because I wanted something, large enough for me to really do what I wanted and feel secluded from the outside world. So we ended on 400. And it has a 20-acre lake. More on that later. So we had this. It's a beautiful place. It just doesn't have any infrastructure. I call it a farm, but the reality is it's really just like vacant land, right? Ripe to mold it and do whatever you want with it. So got this thing late last year, and we started trying to figure out how we're going to be doing it. And what we're going to do with it. So right off the bat, I knew that I wanted to have organic vegetables. That's already on the horizon. It's in Pemberton, New Jersey, and in the pine lands of New Jersey. I didn't really understand everything that encompassed until I started looking at this particular property, but it comes with certain restrictions. This is like a blueberry and cranberry mecca of the Northeast. So we're restricted to what we can and can't do a little bit, which, I guess that's everywhere nowadays. But blueberries and cranberries grow well here because of the soil, the pH level, and everything. So we're going to be doing that. They just take a while to grow. And I personally don't think you can make as much money on blueberries and cranberries as what we have planned. So we're going to be doing that. But before we get into those details, Dom, what's the farm name? Guys, the name of the farm in Pemberton, New Jersey, the name of the farm is Teca Farms. My name is Dominique Teca Panzu Pereira. My grandfather's name is Teca. So we are paying homage to the generations that came before me and those that are going to be coming after that lineage. So Teca Farms, a family journey. And look, if you're on YouTube, you're on social media, you can see the logo here. And it's Teca Farms, a family journey, because this is what it's all about. It's all about the family. Got the merchandise already ready. If you can see that, if you're watching, check it out on our website. If not, tecafarms.com. So that's exciting. Teca Farms is on the map. And what I realized is, this farm had some restrictions. What are the few restrictions that it has? Doesn't have a building. All right, so we need a building. Doesn't have electricity. So we need electricity. Doesn't have a water well. We need that. And the roads are really tight. So let's fix all of that. Now, I'm an investment guy, so I have to give some investment, you know, I wouldn't call it advice. This is not investment advice, but I have to talk about this on the backdrop of an investment. This is what I would call a lifestyle asset. I'm looking to make enough money to just make this farm really self sufficient. I don't need to necessarily make this my number one endeavor. There are things that you spend money on that you just want as part of your life. And that's a lifestyle asset, whether that's a home that you're paying a little bit more for just because you want to live in there or make the wife or the husband happy. Or if it's a car, it's a classic car, it's not going to depreciate much, but it's, you're not going to necessarily retire because you're owning it. It's a lifestyle asset. It's okay to spend your hard earned money on things that you enjoy as long as they're not frivolous. So the farm, we'll see if it's frivolous or not. However, when I purchased it, I knew that I had to incorporate all these things: utilities, infrastructure, and the road. So what did we start with? Well, we started with contacting a power company to get utilities out on the 400 acres. Well, if you know anything about power, which I did not, they have to bring out a lot of, poles and stakes and everything. Um, and we're still not even there. I paid an electrician to start pulling the permits and everything because working with the power and electricity company was becoming complicated. So that was a couple $100. It's going to be a couple $1,000 really by the time the project's done to just get power on the property. We will be running off of solar power as well, but I want that consistent power utilization opportunity for when we have larger events, and the capacity for larger events. Those are going to be weddings, maybe some festivals, whatever the case is. I want to be able to draw as much power as we need. So that's still underway. But one thing that came about is, well, Dom, you might have a hard time getting power out here if you don't have a building or a pad, whatever the case is. And I knew that I needed some sort of storage situation. So earlier this year, I purchased a 40-foot shipping container that was going to serve as our storage container, or our storage facility, because we don't have a house yet on the farm. Um, well, there was a problem. When all this started happening, we realized that our road was a little wee too narrow to get a 40-foot shipping container or a big truck in there. We were able to get our U-Haul, but nothing big in there. So these large trucks can't come in with the supplies that I need, the tools, whatever. So I decided, all right, the 40-foot shipping container might be an issue, and the road is about a half a mile long, even longer. Actually, the road from one end to the other is just about 2 or 3/4 of a mile long, and that's pretty long road just to get onto your property. So I was like, oh, what do we do? Do we do the road project, or do we scrap the entire thing, all right, to bring in the container? I don't know where I came up with this idea, but I did both. So I decided, well, let me fix the road in some places to make it wide enough for the trucks to turn, but let me not do the entire road project. Let me just get it in the places that I really need it. So I contacted somebody. It was quite a hard time getting some dirt onto the farm, but I contacted somebody to let them know that we needed some dirt and some dirt work. Facebook Marketplace has a couple people offering dirt for free. I thought that one might have been a good idea because I went to try to buy it. There wasn't enough out there because I needed quite a bit of it. Whatever. I ended up getting some free dirt on Facebook Marketplace. There's a bunch of guys on there offering some clean free dirt. Big mistake. Big mistake, because that ended up spiraling into a whole issue with the Department of Environmental Protection. My neighbor thought that I was, some sort of vandal working on the property. Didn't realize, maybe, or he didn't care that I owned it. Never came and really talked to me or anything. He just saw some trucks bringing in dirt, and trying to get this road wide enough for us to have trucks turning. And everybody came into this from the city thinking that it was some sort of malicious thing. And eventually the DEP got involved and said, hey, look, you might have to take all this dirt out. And now you're going to have to pay to get rid of it because it might not meet our classifications, blah, blah, blah. It's all convoluted. At the end of the day, we're at odds, but it's kind of very tough for me to decide what the direction that I want to do. Do I want to fight this with the DEP and tell them, hey, look, I reached out and made sure that I conformed to all the regulations as I understood it. And I don't see anything that I'm doing wrong. You guys are assuming that because I haven't certified that this is clean with you guys, that I can't do it. My neighbors in the other areas have been bringing in dirt from the same place. It's just that their neighbors didn't call on them. They called on me. But wouldn't they be in violation as well? Maybe. But, like, let's not focus on other people. Let's just man up to what issues I have. Well, ultimately, it's a lot of money to get rid of dirt. Hence why people are trying to give it away for free, especially now that the DEP is involved. They want me to get rid of it in certain places. You can't have any sort of minerals in it or whatever the case is. Well, I just got this dirt from one place in New Jersey, brought it in, and if it was bad dirt up there, you would have probably had some sort of signage or whatever. You guys should have regulated that anyways. But so I'm frustrated with that whole process. The question is, do I fight it? Do I continue to fight it and pay legal fees, pay consultants, pay engineers? Because all these entities, government entities, are all, for lack of a better word, after me. Or do I just say, okay, I'm going to bow out gracefully. I'm going to remove this dirt, pay for it out of my pocket, figure out how to remove all this dirt. I don't have, these are big trucks and big equipment that I had come in to do all this work. Now I got to pay to get rid of it. Well, in the long run, is that better than me trying to fight it? Because I could fight it and lose, and then I still have to pay to get rid of it. That's the biggest issue that I'm having at the farm right now. It's these government entities that I'm trying to appease, but there's no clear-cut distinction as to what I have to do. And if I would have known this 6 months ago, I would have never touched this road. But everything now is Wetlands Protection Act, Habitat for Humanity, whatever. It's every organization out there that's, honing in on my property, and I have to appease them. So it's really taken a lot of time, effort, and money from the stuff that I really want to do, which is the organic row crops. Second problem. Well, we were trying to do this project so that we can bring in the containers, and that wasn't happening. In the midst, when I started doing the road, I realized, well, you know what, maybe containers aren't going to be enough. And this is before the DP got involved. I decided to buy a barn. I called in the company. It was on sale. I said, I want this barn. They're going to deliver it, install it, everything done on site. I just have to call them to let them know when to come deliver it. But right as they were going to come and do the barn, that's when my site got shut down by the government for doing this work, and I haven't been able to get my barn delivered. Now they're not allowing me to even do my barn before I finish my issues with the DEP and the road, but that might take a long time. It might take a year or two before we get all the engineers, all the drawings. Remember, it's a big farm, so these things don't move fast. If they want me to stop all my operations while this is getting done, well, it might not be worth it for me from a business standpoint. So those are the fights that I'm trying to battle. And on top of all of this, I wish I was investing my money onto my water system and my electricity because, well, that's the stuff that's going to get the farm up and rolling. But the electricity guys couldn't come in because the road wasn't done, and it's a mess. It's a mess, and I'm seeing the frustrations that some farmers go through trying to deal with bureaucrats, right? And everybody that's in an office, but they're not necessarily on the ground working. Granted, I have an office. I have an office job. I have a home office job, as a matter of fact. but I do enjoy getting out there and getting my hands dirty and really working. Can't say the same for some of the people that I'm working with on this issue. That's kind of the gist of it. Now, what have I done? Well, I've contacted a couple consultants, contacted lawyers, and I've contacted the very helpful, shout out to this government agency, the NRCS, Natural Resource Conservation Service. If you're into farming and agriculture, you gotta link up with these guys. They have so many resources and grants and incentives for farmers. So it's so many things in different places. Certain things and organizations can help you. Certain organizations want to take you down. So you got to understand where all of them are and you got to understand who all the players are. Right now, I'm learning that. More on that to come. I'm sure I'm going to keep you guys updated. What type of crops are we growing? Well, I started growing some crops in my backyard in like the starter kits because we haven't finished the infrastructure yet at the farm. So I was hoping that by the time the starters got finished, the infrastructure would be done and we can transplant them out there. We have about 8 rows of vegetables and leafy greens ready. I really don't know too much of what I'm doing when it comes to gardening. I've been watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, reading books, and everything else in between to learn as much as I can about the right way to farm. And one thing that I really learned is the fact that the soil is so important, so important to the output of the farm. And for me, what I've decided is that we're going to be doing organic no-till practices. A lot of great creators on YouTube talk about the benefits of the no-till practice, but I got to give a shout out to Jesse Frost. This is the No-Till Growers YouTube channel and the No-Till Growers podcast, and he really was the channel that I was watching for all the information about the benefits of no-till, and he really gets into the soil composition and the benefit that it is to you and your end product as the crops start growing. So go check them out. Buy the book if you're interested in no-till. Fantastic read. On top of all of that, what am I going to be planning on doing with the farm? Well, ThecaFarms.com is where I have the vision, the framework for what I want to do. Crops and vegetables, livestock, weddings and events, Airbnbs. That's what I want. And recreation and activities. That's what I want. If I can get that done, I will consider it a success. If I get half of it done, I will consider it a success. I know that I sound like a naive beginning farmer. I guarantee you that if I were to be starting a farm with no money and no investment, this is not how I would do it. I would focus on one niche and really hone in on that. The reason I'm not doing that is because I want this to be fun. I want to enjoy this. I don't want to get into another job. I love crops, but I'm going to hire somebody that knows crops. Because I think I love crops, but I've never really farmed crops at a large scale. So maybe I don't love it, but I'm going to find out. I love my goats, but I do have somebody that helps me take care of the goats. So yeah, that's still going to continue, right? I'm still going to implement the practices that have helped my business grow, which is to get people that know more than me to help me in that. So if you're into weddings and events and you're in the Philadelphia, New Jersey area and you want to come out and check out the farm and this amazing wedding tent, look at this amazing wedding tent setup that we have. Let me know. We want to get everybody out here. This is for the community. This is a family journey. If you're watching this, you are part of the family. If you've been supporting me, you are part of the family. So join the journey. That's the update for the farm. Hopefully crops will be in the ground. We're already behind and we're in early May. So maybe in a week or so, because we got our compost in already. We already got our rows created. We just have to transplant. So next week. But I'm busy. That's the only reason I haven't done it. It's because I really have a lot of other projects that make me enough money for this to be very sustainable. That's the update. That's where we are at. Hopefully, it gave you some insight into what we have going on at Theka Farms. Watch out for giveaways. I'm very sporadic and whatever with giveaways. There's no rhyme or reason sometimes to it. I just like giving stuff away. So definitely going to be giving some merch away. And give me a ring, drop an email, DM, whatever, if you want to know more. And we just have to coordinate something for you guys to come out. Give me a reason for you guys to come out. But, you're part of the family. You know where the fridge is. Go get it yourself.